Shifting gears now to presidential politics. Live pictures from Mount Vernon, Iowa, where Hillary Clinton is holding a forum at Cornell College. This as the embattled Democratic frontrunner is looking to set herself apart ahead of the first Democratic debate, in part by distancing herself from President Obama on a range of issues like immigration, the Keystone Pipeline, and trade. Let's talk about the strategy here with Matt Littman, former Joe Biden speechwriter. Tony Sayegh is a Fox News contributor and Republican strategist. So, Matt, more than ever, Mrs. Clinton on the stump these days is criticizing her former boss.
Is she criticizing him, or is she just disagreeing?
She's disagreeing with the policies of the Obama administration. Right. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, look, they ran against each other 8 years ago, right? So they don't agree on every issue. And on some of these issues, it's good to see Hillary coming out with some of her own positions. There's no reason for them to be in lockstep on all the issues. I'm finding in the Republican primary, they're in lockstep on a lot of these issues. As Tony will tell you, they're all anti-immigration reform. They're all anti-women's rights. They all want to blow up the deficit. But on the Democratic side, we have a few disagreements.
Might be an overstatement there, Tony. But
tired hyperbole recycled from 2012 from my good friend.
All right. So what about it? I mean, for instance, Keystone Pipeline. She has come out and said, I'm against it. Yeah. Now, nobody really presumes the Obama administration is roaring to build the Keystone Pipeline.
It's not as if he's been for it. You know, also with the trade deals. You know, she's trying to placate the left. That's where her largest competition is right now with Bernie Sanders. That's why he, as a progressive, is really challenging Hillary Clinton, because a lot of liberals and progressives who've gained power under President Obama don't think she's a bona fide liberal, or certainly not liberal enough. Look, Hillary's always wanted to criticize the president. She knows she has to tactically. 60% of the American people feel we're going in the wrong direction now, nearly almost 8 years after his administration. She's been reluctant up until now because the White House is who she needs to keep Joe Biden out of this race. That decision's coming soon, and you see her playing a lot more offense, which is good for her, I think, because she's shown that she's not going to take the potential of Biden entering this race laying down.
One of the ironies, Matt, is that she has been criticizing the Obama administration, suggesting that they were too slow to undo Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Well, who signed Don't Ask, Don't Tell into law? Her husband.
Well, there are a lot of people viewed gay rights differently 20 years ago than they do today, and Hillary has progressed on that issue, as I think almost all of America has. If you look at where America is now versus a few years ago, there's been a lot of progress. Look, it's only natural. I don't think that you're saying that Hillary needs the White House. I don't think that Hillary is viewing it that way at all. I think Hillary views it as she's a very strong candidate. She's very popular within the Democratic Party right now, way ahead in all the polls that you guys have been talking about for the last couple of hours. I don't think she's afraid of Joe Biden, who I think is also a good candidate. But I think Hillary is doing just fine.
Way ahead where? Way ahead where? She's way ahead in the primary polls, which, granted, are important.
25
when you
points
extrapolate that to the national polls in these swing states, which Quinnipiac just came out in, Joe Biden is a much stronger national candidate against almost every Republican, although he is losing, let's point that out, to Ben Carson, to Jeb Bush, and to Marco Rubio in a lot of these key swing states, including Pennsylvania, which was once reliably Democratic.
But not overall, and Hillary is up by almost 30 points in a lot of the Democratic Party polls.
Maybe in the Democratic polls, but Hillary's likability and honesty and trustworthiness numbers are underwater. I'm Donald Trump. I'm well clear.
He's beating Carly Fiorina and Ben Carson, and you've got Jeb Bush, the establishment candidates. We're at about 3%. Does anybody think that Donald Trump or Ben Carson is going to be the next president?
And Bernie Sanders is beating Hillary Clinton in New Hampshire. Things change. Let's look at the long-term trajectory, which is that Hillary Clinton is not going to win the presidency having the popularity and favorability she has now, particularly the fact that Americans don't trust her.
That's a good point.
That's a major number.
That's a good point.
That's a major number.
17 Republicans running against Hillary, basically. 17 versus 1. And as we get closer to a one-on-one race, you'll see Hillary's numbers fly up, as you will after the debate and after the Benghazi
How does that happen
hearing?
when 95% of people have an opinion about her because they know her because she's been on the stage for 30 years? She's going to reinvent herself again?
One of the issues on which she has obliquely criticized the president is the Benghazi hearings, suggesting that if she were president, she would have done more to squelch that congressional committee. Does she not know about the separation of powers? I mean, Congress can do its own thing.
Well, you know, what's been going on with Congress with Hillary Clinton for 25 years is unbelievable. Do you remember how this all started? This started with Dan Burton taking a shotgun and shooting a watermelon to prove that the Clintons killed Vince Foster. And this has been going on for 25 years. What Congress is doing with Hillary is ridiculous.
The exposure of the Clinton email fiasco came from none other than the New York Times, hardly a part of the right vast wing conspiracy that Hillary likes to blame. Look, Hillary has to account for a lot of her conduct. The American people have already judged that she's not honest and trustworthy. She has a very steep hill to climb in order to change that opinion.
There's a little water cooler politics conversation to carry you through your day. Matt, Tony, we appreciate it.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you both.